Hey guys, get ready with me while I tell you guys a story time about how I got a boy expelled. To start off, we're gonna call this boy Carter. Anyways, Carter was so mean to literally everyone. He would body shame every girl and always critique everyone around him. Carter was literally the definition of toxic masculinity. So prior to any of this happening, Carter got suspended for punching a boy in the face, which really says a lot about his character because this boy was in 8th grade while Carter was in 10th. So basically, this whole fight started when Carter and this boy, we're gonna call him Ben, were just messing around in the hallway. But then Carter's friend showed up and Carter wanted to act cool, and so he shoved Ben. And then Ben shoved Carter back, and then Carter punched Ben in the nose and Ben fell on the floor. Blood was literally everywhere because Carter just broke Ben's nose and knocked out one of his teeth. And so obviously, Carter ended up getting suspended for I think about a week. Now, Carter literally gets zero discipline. Even though he got suspended, he still had his phone. And he was texting one of our mutual friends saying how he ran over a dog and was laughing about it. He also posted a photo on his story about this dead dog he just killed. I think that just shows the type of person he is, aka a sociopath. And Carter has always been rude to me, but when he came back from being suspended, he made it his life's mission to make me miserable. Like, he would always body shame me and talk to our mutual friends about how I'm so ugly and I have the legs like chopsticks. Almost everyone at school despised Carter. And multiple times a day, people would go to the principal complaining about him. So it was no surprise when he threatened to up the school. So the story time about that is Carter went up to a 4th grader and said he was going to bring A to school. Keep in mind, this was right after the actual shooting. Now, originally, they were just going to suspend Carter for these actions, but that's when my friend and I made up a plan. Go to part 2. Part 2 of how my friends and I got somebody expelled. So where we left off, my friend and I came up with a plan that we should go gather all of the girls that Carter has talked bad about and for us to go to the principal and tell the principal everything Carter has ever done. Now, Carter was a big bully and he was proud of it, so it wasn't hard to find tons of girls that he has talked bad about. He also would post on his Snapchat story talking bad about these girls, so it wasn't hard to find proof. Now, when we went to the principal, all of these girls gathered up in one pile and started showing the principal all of these receipts of Carter talking bad about them and everything that Carter would say. One of the girls actually said how she was in therapy talking about everything Carter would say to her. And Carter couldn't even deny it because there was screenshots. If you remember in part 1, Carter broke Ben's nose. And so we were able to convince Ben to go to the principal with us and tell the principal his side of the story and how having a broken nose affected him. And at this point, there was probably 15 people in the principal's office all talking about Carter and how he was a horrible person and needed to be expelled. And so the only right solution was to expel Carter. The principal made us go sit in the hallway while he called Carter to his office. And what we overheard was Carter being expelled. Now, after that happened, all of Carter's friends started to freak out and they started immediately texting Carter. And now, if you do not remember from part 1, I had a mutual friend with Carter, so I knew everything that was going on with Carter and his family and his friends. So the principal basically told Carter that he was not allowed back into the school because of his bullying. Not only did Carter bully girls, but he broke somebody's nose and threatened a 4th grader, which is a very obvious no-no. So the aftermath of Carter being expelled was that he was grounded for 3 months, which is a big deal because his mom would never discipline him. So thank God his mom finally decided to give him some punishment. But Carter was forced to go to the school called Mean Academy. Also, these are fake school names, FYI. But yeah, supposedly at his new school, nobody liked him and he had no friends. Which, I mean, sucks to suck. Karma. But yeah, that's the story time about how I got somebody expelled.
Hello everyone, get ready with me while I tell you the time a girl tried putting me and my best friend against one another. My best friend and I have been best friends for, I want to say 10 plus years. We met her at work and I only knew her maybe for like a year and a half, and we're gonna call this girl Andrea. From the beginning that I met Andrea, I instantly felt mean girl energy. Feel that energy, I'm automatically gonna keep my distance or not be her friend, or I don't know, keep away from that. The main reason I never wanted to be her friend or surround myself with her despite being coworkers was because she was the type of friend who would just talk smack about her other friends, and I was like, what the heck? Like, if you and I are friends and you told me your business, there's absolutely no way that I'm gonna go and forward whatever you just told me to somebody else who honestly doesn't even know who I am and who probably doesn't even care. I barely even knew this girl, but right off the bat, I just knew that she had something against me and she didn't like me. And till this day, I honestly don't even know the reason. I really don't. I feel like it was just, she was just jealous that she never really got attention. I also mean that in the most humbling way ever, because I know there's a lot of people who will hate other girls because there's other people talking to them and not to, like, obviously this particular person. I literally mean in the most humbling way. I remember it was the day of my best friend's birthday, and we ended up just going out with a lot of co-workers. So it was our group, and it so happened that her group, also from a different shift, ended up going out also. And when I tell you it was so awkward, it was awkward. I was like, whatever, my best friend is down to go and she wants to continue celebrating her, then why not? I'm not gonna ruin her night because there's people there who probably don't like us for what, literally no reason. You guys, like, these girls, this person had absolutely no reason to hate me and my group. No reason. To this day, I question what I did wrong, because her and I never really spoke, and if we did, it was slowly on work. So we're a couple hours later into the night, and I remember at this point I was talking to, like, my guy best friend who was in the other group. It just so happened that him and I really were never together or were able to hang out together because we had opposite schedules. It was very difficult. It triggered her so much that my best friend and I, this guy best friend and I, were having a conversation, and she literally comes, grabs me and pulls me away from the conversation with him. And I look at her and I was like, what the hell? Keep in mind, this girl is really fake. She's gonna act really nice in front of your face, but behind your back she's gonna talk all of this smack about you. So keep in mind, this girl knew nothing about me, and if she had an idea about me, it was probably things that she heard, which for the most part were probably not ever true, because at that job there was so many rumors that weren't even true. It's not even funny. She pulls me to where my best friend is talking to this other group, and I was like, dude, what's your problem? What was the purpose of that? And then she was like, oh, I just wanted to tell you that you're really pretty, you're this and that. And I was like, bro, what? And I literally told her, I was like, honestly, don't come at me being two-faced, because I hear all the shit that you're talking about. I was like, you don't even know, when it blows my mind how much you hate me and how much you're trying to be two-faced and, you know, say that I'm pretty, that I'm this and that, I'm intelligent. Right in front of my face, but behind my back, you're gonna go and say all of these false things about me. Absolutely not. I'm not here for it. I guess she didn't like that response, and she just bursts out and says, well, you and your best friend really aren't best friends. You guys talk smack about each other, da 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 da. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, you're not about to put me and my best friend against one another. I was like, if there's one person that knows me best and knows everything about me, it's her. She's saying all of these things. She's over here still trying to figure out what else to say, and then she's trying to bring in other people who don't even have anything to do with this conversation. So she brings them in and she goes, right, isn't it true that Ashley and her best friend talk smack about one another? And I was like, bro, what? I remember one of the guys who we came with loved us. Like, there was a, like, I knew we did nothing wrong, because he literally was the type of guy friend that if there were any issues or if we did something wrong, he would actually tell us. I remember he seen that this girl was getting all rowdy, and he was like, yo, you need to back up. He was like, you're weird. And then she ended up trying to get at him, and then she got even more mad because I was cool with him and he wasn't giving her a chance. And I was like, oh my god, girl, like, what? You can have all these men, like, I don't want them, they're just my friends. Like, at this point, me and my best friend just, like, laugh and look at each other, and we're like, bro, what the heck? Like, did this girl not know that I've been knowing you for 10 years? Like, what? Not on our watch. Absolutely not. Her and I's friendship is so strong that no one can get in between us. When her and I looked at each other, I literally just, like, walked out and I left.